You can't just become an expert communicator if you've never had the opportunity to ever express yourself ever, and you're always told that you have to hold everything in or shut up or wait till later or be banished for saying the wrong thing. That creates a habit of you just harboring feelings and emotions, and you'll never be able to effectively communicate with anyone.
We also putting it out there as if those don't have consequences to their actions and the things that they say. That's wrong. We should never make that assumption. Secondly, we forget
Who
that
are the
we learn.
consequences?
Secondly, we forget that we learn how to interact with people based off of how they treat other people around them. So if me and my best friend are dealing with each other, and I've seen her lay into her sister, and I've seen her lay into her partner, then I don't have enough context between her and those different situations in order to know what could have set her off. I just could be trying to avoid that. So I don't think that we're actually taking into consideration the person who is trying to be vulnerable and why they are hold back, and just placing the responsibility on the receptor of, just being this open-ended, like this well-rounded individual. And let's be clear, everybody communicates, everybody don't communicate the same way, and everybody don't have healthy communication skills.
Quick
Yeah.
story.
Okay, hold on real quick. Marcus done
Oh,
had
go
his
ahead.
finger up for about 30 minutes. I want to go after Marcus, but I mean, he having his finger up. I just want to go right after
Yeah,
Marcus.
I was trying to be respectful of the panel. So, I'm gonna try and answer the question more if I didn't provide enough clarity the first time. So, what I was saying was, I think we operate with either a plus or a minus amount of vulnerability, right? So, you got positive vulnerability. That's when when you're healthy enough to give of yourself, and if somebody does not handle that correctly, it does not hurt you. You can brush it off, like, well, not hurt you long term, right? You can brush it off like, this person did not treat me how I was supposed to be treated. I'll remove myself from them, and then I still have the capacity to open up to someone again. So it's positive because it doesn't set you back. Now you can also have a negative vulnerability, which is where you're so low that you're vulnerable, not out of being in a position where you can reach out and connect with somebody, but because you have to. And if you don't, you're like withdrawing further and further into yourself, and you might become depressed, and you look to that person to try and pull you up out that depression. So so to answer specifically how to be actually close to someone, I would say the best way is to be in a position where you can give of yourself and it does not hurt you to the point that you can't try it again if it goes wrong. The other way can result in someone being withdrawn and never opening up again.
I want to add to what Marcus just said, and he kind of was adding to what I'm saying. Majority of people who are not vulnerable are extremely selfish. Most people aren't loving people because they're afraid they're not going to get back from the person what they're giving, and in hopes of what Marcus is saying. When I was growing up, people used to be like, "Man, why you wear your heart on your sleeve?" Because I genuinely want to be close to people. I genuinely want to love people without getting nothing in return. If that person is for me, then they'll stay in my life. And if I have a little gateway of vulnerability and I know I can be talk deeper to that person, then I'll do that. Some people, off gate, you can do that. First time I met Marcus, I was extremely open with Marcus. Marcus extremely open with me as brothers. Like I knew I could be vulnerable with him based off of how he conduct himself and his energy. And I didn't care what he was giving back as well too, but because I truly care about giving to people and giving love to people and sharing insight with people. The biggest thing that I do every day though, and I wanted people can take away from is it might be a little too deep, may not be too deep. I look at the sun, I look at the earth, and I look at the water, and I look at babies, and they never go off the trajectory of what they're doing. They stay the course of what they're doing. And I think again, when we come in these conversations, a lot of the reasons why we're not close is because there is something else, a catalyst that's in between us in society that we're not addressing, that is dividing us, that is making us not love ourselves, that's making us not value ourselves, that's making us not see the greatness in ourselves. So until we address the catalyst that's between us, and we know that's happening because we are essentially, there's a core to us that has to be guided when you're a baby. Whatever's put in that baby, baby will develop. But if Paris can say one thing, and I can say the opposite thing and see one thing in love, and not using you right now. For the I'm just using you just in my scenario. If she could say something and see love, and I can see something and not see love, that means our interactions and our encounters with what love is completely different. And I believe a lot of people have never seen what being close is. Most people are looking to use people, and not because of they want to use people. That's all they know. They're looking for if they can get leverage over someone. They're looking for if they can get control over someone, resources over someone, validation over someone. So if I come up to Marcus and I go, yo, I'm about to, nah, I might not get nothing back from him. I'm being selfish because I'm not doing it out the kindness of my heart and actually loving them and actually being the type of person in my own skin, my own interpersonal relationship, that I'm actually loving people that aligns with other loving people. And we have a lot of responsibility in loving people. So I believe most of us have never been close to a lot of people. And I can't speak for the panel. I mean, in general, a lot of people have never been close to someone. That's what that guy was saying. There's someone literally laying next to you in your bed that's making you sick, and you still laying next to him because at least you know that temporary closeness more than another closeness. A lot of people sleep to hell every single day because it's the hell they know versus going to pursuing another hell. So we're not going to be close with each other until we truly work inside of what's wrong with us as an individual, and then us as a collective, and then we'll get closer as a community, and it'll be reflective of bearing more close children and close society. So until we address the catalyst, because I believe most people won't love. Most people want to connect to people. Most people want to be part of something, but we don't know how to be part of that because of what's happened to us. But past generations stuck together no matter what. It was a responsibility and duty to stay together. They valued each other. Even if they went off and went up and down a little bit, they still stay close to each other. So until we do that as a collective, it's going to be very difficult for a lot of us to get close to each other.
I wanted to add what Paris was saying, how she was with her friends. I feel close, the most closest, when I'm having a conversation with my girlfriends or my best friend, and I'm talking to her about something that's on my mind or something I'm going through. I feel no judgment, and I'm able to become close to her because we have this type of repertoire where we can just talk to each other about things. And I feel like I should be able to carry that over when I'm trying to talk to someone romantically. It's like, if I'm trying to be vulnerable with you, if we're having that closeness, I should feel zero judgment. Not saying that I'm attacking this selfishly of saying, oh, how I feel, but it's just like, when you're trying to be vulnerable with someone, you don't need to be judged. Like, I should be able to come to you about anything that's on my mind, and we should just be able to laugh it off, or you be able to give your opinion unsolicited or anything like that. I feel like when I'm in a relationship with someone, I love sharing a part of myself that I don't get to share with someone, especially if I want to be close to you. I love sharing myself with that person, or sharing a part of myself that I don't normally get to share with someone because of that. Like, I like being vulnerable with that person. It's increasing our bond. It's getting us somewhere where we need to be. Like, when we are in that zone where we are having an open dialogue, having that zero judgment, or that space where I can talk to you about things that are on my mind, it helps me become more closer to that person because of the space that we're in.